Before you buy a new AC system, one of the most important things every homeowner needs to get right is the size of the new AC system. If an AC system ends up being undersized, meaning too small, then you end up with problems down the road. For instance, what's going to happen is it's going to run all the time to satisfy the indoor temperature that you have it set at. And this is going to dramatically reduce the life expectancy of your new AC system. On the flip side, if your system is oversized, what this is going to lead to is short cycling because the system is too big for your house. This could lead to hot and cold spots throughout your home. And if your ductwork wasn't sized properly for the bigger system, it could also impact the life expectancy of the system and lead to other ductwork issues. In the worst case scenario, if your system isn't sized properly, it could lead to mold growing in your house. Hi, this is Kenneth with Atlas AC, and today we're going to be answering the question, what is the right size AC system for my home? At any point during this video, if you find it to be valuable, please hit the like button. That's going to really help me out with the YouTube algorithms. Quick disclaimer, this video is more of a rule of thumb to help homeowners better navigate the HVAC industry. It will help you budget for a new AC system a lot easier, along with making it easier to work with contractors as you're going through the process of getting quotes and bids. To start off with, where you're located in the United States is going to determine the size of the HVAC system that you're needing. Here's a nice little visual representation of the different climate zones throughout the United States. In each one of these zones, we have to size AC systems differently for. Since I'm located in Texas and most of my HVAC knowledge comes from Texas, that's the zone that I'm going to largely be talking about. If you're looking at the chart, you're going to notice a couple things on it. So not only that there's 5 different zones, but also the way that it's zoning things out is based off of 2 metrics. Metric number 1 has to do with the tonnage, and the tonnage has to do with the size of an AC system. And there is 12,000 BTUs per ton. So if you look at a 3-ton AC system, that represents 3,600 BTUs. Now, next to it, we're going to see the square footage. Now, the square footage is the recommendations for that size system to go with that square footage. So, for example, if we're looking at this 3-ton system, it's saying it's going to fit a house in between the size of 1,500 square feet to 1,800 square feet, and that 3-ton system is going to be the perfect solution for you. To keep things simple, we're going to use the example of homes that were built in between 1,200 square feet and 1,800 square feet. Also, please keep in mind that the areas that I'm most familiar with is the San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas areas. If you're not located in this area, there's a chance that things might vary a little bit for you based on just the building standards in your city. So if we're looking at a home that's not an old house, but not a new house either, let's say in the range of built in the 60s all the way up until, I guess, the early 2000s, somewhere in that time frame. And let's say the house is 1,500 square feet. What we see in this area, that the most ideal size for a 1,500 square foot home is going to be about 3 tons. Or if the home size, let's say, is 1,800 square foot, I would probably go ahead and bump that up to a 3.5 ton system. So the rule of thumb for homes that are not real new and are also not real old is you're going to be looking at about 500 square feet per ton. And that's just a basic rule of thumb. You know, that's not always the case, as you're going to see here pretty quick. So if you're looking at the chart, you're going to see that there's a range in square footages for particular size of tonnage. And I would recommend, if you have a house that was built in this time frame, I would lean more on the smaller square footage side of the equation, and it's typically going to be more correct than not. If you have a 1,500 square foot home, I would go with a 3-ton system. If you have an 1,800 square foot home, I would go with a 3.5 ton system. And again, this is still just a rule of thumb. So you might be asking, well, why is it also recommending that I can put a 3-ton on an 1,800 square foot home? Well, the short answer is that's probably a newer home, and newer homes can get away with that just due to a lot better insulation, double pane windows. It could be sealed a lot better. So typically, what we see is homes that call for a smaller system with a larger square footage is going to be a more energy efficient home, or even just a newer house in general. There are some scenarios where the heat loads actually call for us to oversize a system. For instance, I've seen homes that were 1,200 square feet, and we actually had to go in with a 3 ton. So you might be asking, what could possibly cause us to go up a half a ton? Well, the short answer is when you calculate heat loads, there's other variables that play into it. Things like if you have a param beam foundation that's breathable, that's going to change your heat load because it's going to call for more heating and cooling. And another scenario is if you have a home built in the 40s and on a windy day you can feel the breeze in the living room. And so when you have a house that breathes that much, sometimes it's just going to call for a bigger system. As you can see, there was 3 different scenarios that we looked at. The first scenario being the most common with homes, that are not old, but they're not also new. They're going to be at the smaller square footage with the bigger systems. And then the newer homes, you're going to see the larger square footage with the smaller systems. And that's the best way to look at the chart. And then you got certain scenarios, the far out there ones, where you just have a really old home or the foundation is not concrete, and you might need a bigger system than what this chart is calling for. At the end of the day, before you make the final purchase, you're still going to want an HVAC contractor run a quick heat load on your house just to be for certain everything is sized properly. It is common for most HVAC contractors to run heat loads before they replace an existing AC system. For example, we run heat loads for every single one of our customers before we do a new install. If you found this video to be helpful, you might also find our next one in line to be helpful as well. It covers the topics of SEER rating and does it actually save you money. Until next time, have a good one.